Hey you, it's Below Average here, and today I'm going to talk about what makes you beautiful. Nah, this video is actually about a wonderful thing called college. If you live in the United States, it's college, but if you live in most other places across the world, they like to call it university.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
But either way, it's the same thing. Once you finish all the BS grade, middle, or primary, as it's called in the England schools, you either get a up job, get lucky, get famous, or just go to college. I mean, that's at least how I saw it. So out of high school, I walked my little white ass over to the nearest college. I don't know if community college is a thing all across the world, and honestly, I can't even be bothered to look it up. But in the US, we have this thing called community college, which is pretty much a softcore version of college. It has most of the same classes, and you really do it to get credits to use in college. But honestly, whatever. Usually college is a 4-year deal, but you can stay longer to get other stuff, be seen as smarter, or really whatever. But let's just say I doubt that there are many PhDs watching. Nonetheless, this is college in a nutshell. So let's get to the fun part. Expectations versus reality. If you've ever watched a movie or TV show that has to do with it, you would think that college is a place where there are parties every night and everyone is drinking or doing some sort of drugs. And although I'm currently doing both while recording this, I don't think it's true for everyone. By the way, that was a joke if you couldn't tell, because I'm one of the nerds who has been to about as many parties as an aborted baby, maybe less.
Daddy, chill.
I myself might be a weird MFer, but of the about 5 friends I know, not many party all that much. It's probably because we may or may not be losers. I won't confirm or deny that statement, but let's just say that there's a lot of different people in college. You might have thought that all the different cliques and groups and all that stuff stops in high school, but it's pretty much the same thing in college, just a little bit different. Bullying is not really a thing. Instead, people just find a group of similar people and spend most of the time around them. And so most people are pretty chill. The jocks hang with the jocks, the nerds with the nerds, goth with the goth, weird effers with the weird effers. You get the idea. If you play a popular sport, no, not you rowing,
Are you serious right now, bro?
then you're pretty much a tier above everyone else. And you know what? I would say that's fair, because you have to be pretty effing good to play at most colleges. But honestly, you get the point. There's a lot of groups, but let's just say that your group will determine a lot of your college experience. In my case, I've been with what many would consider a group of underdogs, which is pretty much just another word for guys that can't get laid. It's kind of sad. I'm writing this as a senior in college, and trust me, you'd be surprised at how little experience I got, even considering the fact that I'm a below average white guy. But I'm sure y'all will do better. Honestly, sorry for being such a selfish little but I just wanted to make it known that everyone's not a jock or a cheerleader. Those fellows are the ones in the sororities and fraternities. So those are what we consider the cool kids, I guess. Those are the type of people that you see on the movies and shows, the ones that drink, party, have a bunch of sex, all that junk. That's kind of the crowd. But if you're not in that crowd, you're likely going to get some BS job and pretty much just hang out with the people around you, the people you live with, all that junk. Or like me, you might just stare at the wall all day. It's usually one of the two. I think there's some kind of saying like life is what you make of it or something. And yeah, you can influence and change your college experience. But if you're taking something like rocket science, then you're pretty screwed. But if you're like me and chose a pretty chill major, then I'm sure you'll be fine. Classes. You have them, and yeah. From the time that you're an itty-bitty fellow or fella to the time you're in college, you take classes, and you know what? They're classes. It's all the same. The classes are just bigger in college initially, but as they get harder and harder, no homo, they get smaller and smaller until you got like 30 people in your class, and it's pretty much the same as high school, so it's really not that bad. The first year, most of the classes are pretty easy. The second, they get a bit harder, and then the last 2 are a bit tricky, and that's when you really get to decide if you're fine or with your major. Newsflash, most people will likely either change their major, pick up a minor, or just say college and leave it altogether, because it gets pretty tough. Just believe in yourself and you'll get that piece of paper eventually. Relationships. For most people, it seems like they either had their first serious relationship at the end of high school or start of college. Well, the key word in that sentence was most people. Because if you're like me, then you didn't do jack in high school and think that you'll magically meet people because you're at a big college. But it doesn't necessarily work that way. I'm not saying it's impossible. It's different for each person. But if you want to have a legitimate chance at finding someone early on, probably gotta be either hot as or in a sorority or fraternity. If you are in one of those, then your chance of meeting someone is pretty high because of all the parties and all that. But for most other people, you have to join clubs or talk to people in class or really just go out of your comfort zone in order to get that number or get that date.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
You just gotta kind of believe in yourself, spread your wings, and I don't know what I'm saying. But yeah, you get the point. If you want to find someone to take IG photos with, you're gonna have to get some balls. I myself am at one of the biggest schools in the country, and honestly, it's been tough as but keep in mind, I'm a skinny, below average white guy, so don't think that mine will be the same as yours. Well, that was a fun section, but now it's time for the next one. Sports. If you don't with sports, then you can skip this one. I honestly don't care. Sports are a thing at college for most people, I'd say. And there's two different kinds. There's the school teams, like the legit ones, and then there's the ones that the students can actually do, which are called, say it class, intramurals. I'm really proud of all you guys who joined in. Here's a gold star. But anyways, back to the... And intramurals are pretty much just recreational sports that quite a few people like to take way too seriously. But for most people, they kind of just f around with it. You can play soccer or football for you chaps out there.
What? You're just ruining it.
Basketball, American football, volleyball, rugby, baseball, all that. If you have friends, then you can make a team with them. And if you don't, you're kind of just... But that's okay, because you can just join some randoms and maybe make some friends there. I mean, you never know. But no matter the case, don't be worried. Alas, there are school sports. So if you like to go to games, then you can go to those things.
Yes. Oh!
Unless you're at some 50-person school in the middle of nowhere. So sorry to anyone in that spot. But for the large majority of you guys and gals, not trying to be sexist,
Daddy, chill.
you can go to basketball, football, and all those games. So you're not bored as sitting in your dorm room on a Friday night, all depressed and stuff.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
But anyways, sports are pretty dope. And I mean, if you play one, then you're probably busy as f. And two, probably a cool kid. So congrats to you. And honestly, I just hope all the success in the world. But for the rest of us, kind of just gotta go with the flow. See what life gives you. Maybe it'll give you some lemons, maybe not. I don't know how to end this part, so growing up. Once you leave college, it's usually a big moment. It's all sad and stuff because you're saying goodbye to family. And yeah, it is. But it's simply just a part of growing up. Sure, it will feel weird for the first few weeks, and maybe some tears will be shed, and a lot of phone calls if you like your family. But honestly, it's a leap of faith that you gotta take.
That's all it is, Miles. A leap of faith.
And it could be into a rough or a great 4 years. Not everyone has the same experience. It depends on where you go, who you're around, all that fun stuff. But it's always something new. College is what you make of it, no matter how or great a situation you're in. It's the start of your own life, and no parents telling you once you leave home. It's really on you. So if you want to have a great experience, just F it and do whatever. Just go crazy. Go absolutely bonkers. Just live your life. Honestly, all this might seem overwhelming. It may seem like a lot to take in at once, but trust me, you got it. Because as Taylor Swift would say, you're on your own, kid, but you always have been. Hopefully you had a fun time talking about college with me. If you want some more stuff like this, then subscribe and like. But honestly, I just hope that you have a great day and a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.